Welcome at another reflection time video. In this video I want to give you some time to reflect on the idea of positive motivation versus negative motivation and how these forms of inauthentic motivation can actually harm your self-belief or your self-concept or your self-image, your personal identity. It can also influence your values, your truth, and eventually how you want to express yourself in the most authentic way. So currently I'm just in my local park and where I just wanted to get started with this topic, and then during the video I give you about 7.5 to 8 minutes some time to reflect on this topic, and then after that I will come back with a conclusion on what kind of motivation you actually should be focusing on in order to feel more, let's say, motivated and inspired in life. So let's first talk about positive motivation. Positive motivation can come from, let's say, a mother kind of figure, overly caring, overly protective, and what kind of person will do is she will just always validate you. She will always validate you, like in a sense of, you know what, my kind little son, my kind little daughter, yes, whatever you do, it's perfect. No matter if you're happy, no matter if you are joyful, it's perfect. No matter what you do, it is perfect, it's beautiful. Yes, you should follow your heart. Yes, you should do this. Yes, you should do everything. But let's be honest. Let's be really honest. Let's say if one of these activities you do not really enjoy it that much, and perhaps you even suck at it. What I want to say with that is that maybe that kind of motivation is also not really the most authentic one, because you're not really getting any feedback in return. No any feedback in the sense, you know what, it is good what you're doing, but have you also thought about this? Have you thought about how you could improve this or that? This is the kind of feedback I'm really talking about. I think you get my point in this one. Negative motivation is kind of like perhaps a little bit the narcissistic parent or the narcissistic figure who always disapprove no matter what you do. He will always devalue you. He will always say, you know what, forget about it, you suck, it's horrible, it's, you know, you should hide from yourself, you should hide your gifts, it is absolutely horrible, please don't share any more of that. You try something different, and again you will get the same kind of feedback. And the result it actually can give you is that eventually you get to a point where you become furious, you become angry, and what you want to do is you just want to get his validation. You just want to prove your worth through, let's say, accomplishments, no matter what it takes, even if you have to hurt or dominate or manipulate others, but just really getting the accomplishment. That will be the primary focus, your primary motivation. Once you have done that, you start to question, wait a minute, how can I really satisfy myself? How can I experience true fulfillment? What is actually my real gift of just trying to, you know, chase that thing externally? So this is something I want to give you some time to reflect on. So 2 days ago I traveled to East Sussex. It was about an hour to an hour and a half traveling outside of London. I went through a bit of a hike, which I found at Saturday Walkers Club, a very nice one. I even used a bit of an app that I wanted to try for my directions and such. So for now I just want to say, enjoy your time to reflect on this topic. What kind of motivation have you personally experienced? Which one is it that you can relate to the most, and how did it impact your values, right? Your truth, how did it impact the way you currently see yourself? That's what I'm very curious about, so make sure to drop a comment below. Give yourself some time to reflect on this, make some notes, feel free to journal, and of course share your ideas and topics in the comments below. And then after 7.5 minutes I will see you back with a conclusion. So as you might have noticed during the video, I actually decided to cut my hike because I noticed that filming as such was taking much longer than expected, and the weather wasn't really that great because it was very cloudy as such. So I knew it was going to get dark very soon, and I figured there's no point filming when it gets very dark as such. Even right now I need to crack up my ISO in order to get some light because in the rain it's cloudy, whatnot. And then after 3 o'clock, just after 3 o'clock, I decided to, put my camera in my camera bag and just continue to focus on the walk. And I still had an hour and a half to go just by focusing on the walk itself. And indeed, I just came back by dark. So I gave you some time to reflect on positive motivation versus negative motivation. Positive motivation is when you have someone in your life who says, yes, you're perfect, you're beautiful all the time, but doesn't really give any valuable or authentic feedback in return. And eventually it starts to feel like you get neglected in some way because you're not getting any authentic feedback in return. Instead, you get this inauthentic validation that doesn't do you any good at all. And then eventually what I can do for you is that, because you think you're perfect, you don't have to put any effort in anything at all. And then you think that everything should come to you. And that everything should come effortlessly because you are already perfect and whatnot. And that's going to give you problems in life, some serious issues in life. Then the negative motivation is the kind of person that always devalue you no matter what you do. And then you really want to prove yourself for accomplishment, and then you figured, okay, that's also not how I can experience true fulfillment, purpose, satisfaction, joy, love and connection in my life. So what is the real motivation you should actually be focusing on? That is the kind of motivation that is not dependent on other people at all. And to really be of service to humanity is actually to focus on serving yourself. And I'm not talking about trying to accumulate or get as much things as possible by manipulating or controlling and dominating others. What I mean with that is serving yourself is doing that what gives you the highest level of joy, love, purpose and satisfaction and fulfillment. If you focus on that, then what you're doing becomes more like a process of creating for the joy of creating. Motivation is something that you create from within. You can also check my video intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, which is a little bit of an older video. But if you only focus on extrinsic motivation, trying to search for validation and approval from someone else, and instead you focus on your true intrinsic motivation, creating from the joy of simply creating, then you create motivation from within yourself. So then the last question I want to give to you is, what kind of motivation could that mean to you? What is it that could give you the highest level of joy for yourself? I'm very curious. Please drop a comment below. It starts to get dark, it starts to rain quicker, so I really need to wrap this up and shut down my camera because I want to keep this camera for a little bit longer. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Hope you saw some new insights in this. And of course, I really look forward to see you in one of my next videos. Jean-Paul here. Take care for now. Bye bye.